Aloha, friends and neighbors. Rollin Frost here. That's Rollin Frost in Kaimuki, 1981. I'm going to show you this article later. It's about the president's chart at the time. So we're going to do the sky mirror, and then we're going to get on with President Trump's chart and do some work on him. So this is show 1105. 1,105 weeks I've served you. Don't think I ever missed a week. Of course, I never got paid either. Maybe that's why I never missed. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to cover February 2nd to February 11th on this show in the Sky Mirror. Before I get started, I'm back here on January 14th. And yesterday was the great panic of that you saw on the last show, which is about there's a nuke coming. It's going to land in 10 minutes. My God. So there's a major panic scare. And before I'll get back to it more, but you know, you got to blame Trump for this. President Trump is a bully, and he's bullying poor North Korea, which is a very poor, isolated country, similar to what we did to Cuba. And so he's bullying it's like beating up on the homeless guy. And Trump is just the guy to do it. And so that's one of the reasons you got so scared, because you knew that we've been beating up on poor North Korea. And they're not insane. I know. They're too poor. Anyway, not a chance there's going to be any nuclear ballistic missiles flying around. Not a chance. I mean, we haven't used poison gas. We haven't used bacteriological warfare. We haven't used militarized anthrax. There's all these terrible weapons that have been invented and aren't in use because people got them and they're not practical and they kick back on you. And nuclear weapons are one of those things. They're just a dumb thing that somebody's collecting. You go into the hunter's house and there's a nice 22 and a 30-06 and then a whole bunch of AK-47s. He can't use those to hunt. What the hell? That's the way we are with our nukes. Anyway, none of that would have happened if Trump hadn't decided to bully the poor North Korean president. And we got all scared because of the bullying. Looks like there's a fight about to start. That's just Trump's way. I'll show you later. Let's forget that for now and go back into the sky mirror. Okay, here's a pattern of planets. We got the Sun squaring Jupiter towards the end of your next week. A lot of clowning around. Mars is moving up to square Neptune at the end of next week, and it'll be increasingly difficult to be a hero. But Jupiter sextiling Pluto, there's discovery. You're in the zone here when Neptune's not acting up from the prior full moon. Didn't like Neptune. It's at 12 Leo. And the last new moon squared Uranus, and so, you feel jittery, and there's electrical problems that continue until the middle of February. Let's see what it's like for you for the next 10 days or so. As the moon runs around the Earth, it makes angles to all these planets and generates the mood of the times. It's not your chart now. It's a generic chart. But you'll feel it, especially if you're out amongst people. The more people you're around, the more it averages out, and they all behave pretty much like the sky mirror predicts. Here, if you're on Thursday night show, you had a tough middle of the day Thursday. Everybody was a little angry and impatient, and But about dinner time, here's a nice trine to Saturn, and you settle down and you're watching the show, and I can hopefully deliver some good, solid information from Saturn. Friday, moon still in Virgo. In the morning, it opposes Neptune, confusion and delusion. Yeah, problems with liquids, drugs, smoke and mirrors. Friday morning, sleep through it. Friday night, here's the sextile to Jupiter and the trine to Pluto. The Pluto trine comes on first and kind of says, hey, discover this thing, and then an hour or so later, Jupiter sextile kicks in, and you've got, actually, it doesn't an hour or so later, it happens almost immediately. Now I think about it. Discovery, and then, aha, I see it clearly now. That's kind of what's going on. Well, Friday night, you're going to learn a lot of truth. Saturday morning, the moon's still in Virgo, and you get to Saturday afternoon, it shifts into Libra. Hooray! There's a nice trine to Mars, or sextile to Mars, Saturday after dinner. Get physical, do some sports, be competitive, be a hero. It lasts a little bit, but there's a square to Saturn. Time ran out. Saturday, you love the athletes, but you'll hate the umpire, huh? Saturday night, the 3rd of February. Sunday morning is a nice trine to Mercury. Good time for a run, take the pets out, go for a walk, stretch your legs, think, talk, walk, move. Good Sunday, huh? You get a plan going Sunday night. Here's the sun in trine. I got a project I'm going to do. But here's a panicky thing. This is 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock Monday morning. There's a little panic set in here. What is that? Is that a siren? I hope not. You're hoping to sleep in because here's a nice trine to Venus Monday morning. It could be a pleasurable morning if you stay in bed. But look out, right immediately almost, there's an opposition to Uranus. What's that? The horns honking? You hear a smartphone buzzing, trying to warn you of impending nuclear disaster? This is not a drill. No, this was a drill. No, this is not a drill. Comic opera. But here you got Uranus trouble. There could be batteries, dead electricity, be all kinds of interruptions to your TV, to your smartphone, to your batteries, your electrical supply, etc. It's a very electric, interruptive Monday, the 5th. Could be some quakies here, too. Tuesday, the moon's in Scorpio, and feels better because it starts with a nice sextile to Saturn. We're all organized. There is a full moon point in the middle of Tuesday, no full moon, but, it's a little over-emotional. But it does trine Neptune. There's inspiration. So you got organized Tuesday morning, got inspired Tuesday afternoon. Can't get nothing done. Here 11, 12 o'clock, the moon squares the sun. So, don't try to do anything late. But Wednesday morning, there's the Jupiter-Pluto thing again. Nice. Starts with discovery. And then, aha, I see it clear. As the moon goes by Jupiter, lots of wisdom. Jupiter's like a professor or a lawyer or the lawyer says. And the jury says, oh, now we see it clear. The professor says. And the students say, oh, now we understand. That's what Jupiter likes. He throws these lightning bolts of truth. So you're going to get them there on Wednesday morning and through the middle of the day. And there's detectives and discovery around helping Jupiter. So it is a nice time Wednesday. Very nice time. The 7th. Moon in Scorpio. Thursday, the moon is shifted. It's in Sagittarius. Went from Scorpio as a fixed water sign. A lot of stability. A lot of good luck there with Jupiter. Sag is a mutable fire sign. So it's movable, changeable with a lot of energy ups and downs. And you're going to feel it Thursday because you're in the Mars zone. The moon's going to go by Mars Thursday afternoon. People get hot, or they get angry, or they get the job done. Ask yourself what you're protecting. If you're impatient or angry, your inner Mars doesn't know how to protect. Just ask yourself how to protect. What am I protecting? What am I protecting? When you understand, the anger's gone in an instant. It's just gone. And there's physical stuff to do. That's what Mars does. Physical things to fix stuff and protect stuff. So that's what Thursday afternoon and evening's about. Friday morning early, 2, 3 in the morning, here's a square to Neptune. Water leaks, confusion, delusion. Hope you sleep through it. Friday after breakfast on the 9th, here's a nice sextile to Mercury. And you can talk and walk and get ideas, and it's followed by the sextile to the Sun. Friday afternoon, you make a good plan. Make a plan like the boss. That's what Friday is all about. Talk it out and make a plan. Saturday, moon's still in Sagittarius until the afternoon. And in the afternoon here, between breakfast, or between lunch and dinner, it's almost dinner time. Here's a nice sextile to Venus. And, there's some rest and sweets and sex here. This is kind of nice Saturday night. But get in early, because you can see here's Saturn lurking there about 1 a.m. So you go out and you get a nice date, you have an enjoyable thing, it's nice Saturday. Then you get to the midnight hour, look out, things close in, there's no time, there's no money, it gets depressive and gray and cold as the moon goes by Saturn. Late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Ugh. Get through that Saturn on Sunday. And by Sunday night, here's a sextile to Neptune. This is 10, 11 o'clock maybe. Inspiration. Good time for music, religion, art. Be sensitive. It's a very good time. Monday, well, here's old Pluto on February 12th. The moon will go by Pluto in the afternoon and sextile Jupiter. There'll be discovery and aha and wisdom and all kinds of neat things going on here again. Maybe you'll finally understand that nuclear weapons are like poison gas and anthrax and bacteria. There's been a lot of horrid weapons invented by mankind. And once everybody spreads them around, they're never used. And so you don't gotta, being a dither over somebody's nuclear weapon. No. Anyway, let's go look at Mr. Trump, huh? It was the year 1981. A newspaper reporter, Rachel Perry, showed up and wanted to interview an astrologer and picked me. I've been doing this for 7 years already. So we're talking astrology. Everything was fine, and she asked me if I did any famous people. I said, no, I wouldn't tell you if I did. So then I thought, well, wait a minute. I got Ronald Reagan's chart. I did a lecture in the library, and I'm going to look at Ronald Reagan's chart. Okay, and I started going on about his chart. I kind of forgot that she was a newspaper reporter. And what came out was kind of interesting. Because there's an eclipse. Yes, the eclipse was on his sun. And what I told Rachel was possible death or insanity. And of course Reagan, I even bracketed it what's going to happen in the next month or something. And the eclipse is February 4th. And here again I said, this is really bad. Death or insanity. Now, the insanity thing is something I want you to notice, because Reagan did get shot, and pretty much on time, and the guy that was with him got hit really bad because he was the sun in Ronald's chart too, and he took the eclipse. Anyway, this got me in a lot of trouble, this article, and I never used the word doom. But what happened was I started wishing that Reagan would take a hit, and I narrowly escaped being Reagan's astrologer. I was the astrologer of his neighbor. I met him on horseback. So I didn't like that I was thinking he's bad. Anyway, I called up Moby, my friend Moby Dick. I said, what, man? I think I accidentally predicted the death of the father of our country. What do you know about that? Moby said, he said, he who predicts death will have it visited on himself. He says the last time he did that, a fly flew in his mouth. Cough, cough, cough. He couldn't get it out, had to swallow it. Terribly bitter. So a month later, Moby Dick died. A month after that, my father died. Yes, father figures are dying all around me. Now, I don't know whether it was because I did this thing or not, but I'm real leery. The reason I brought you here is because when I saw this old article, I realized insanity is high on the list. Okay, present time. We had an eclipse in August, Remember, August 21st. Everybody saw it across the U.S. And it was on Trump's rising sign, his body, his physical body. Hence, I thought physical danger. However, after I saw my own pronunciations here in 1981, it's possible it could be a mental component here too. Anyway, I already figured out, according to ancient rules, that this eclipse could last 2 years and 8 months, which brings you to April 2020, which is an important date because we're going to look at Mr. Trump's chart now. So, the eclipse could grab him anytime between now and April 2020. I got a bunch of charts here. Oh, before I get to that, so I don't forget it, I got one of my big earthquakes I predicted is a 7.3. And I was concerned about these that happen along this coastline because we tend to get tsunami from them. I mean, this is a 7.3. It happened January 14th. Yeah, right after our emergency, 9:18 a.m. I just want you to look at this because this is a classic. See here, the cross is where the 7.3 happened. There's two lines running through it. One line is a Uranus line. This line here is Uranus on the descendant. The descendant is the stuff you don't like. It's your enemy. So here is shaking. Everybody's afraid of shaking, okay? Afraid of Uranus along this line. Here is Pluto on the IC, the bottom. Here's panic in the home and destruction of the home. These two lines come together right here. And that's where the 7.3 was. So this is classic earthquake prediction from your astrologer. And right on the mark. Okay, here comes 8-9 minutes on Mr. Trump's chart. Just like your chart, I always hand this out. Here are the houses of the horoscope. You understand the houses, and when you look at a natal chart, like here's Mr. Trump's natal chart, and you say, oh, look at that. There's a whole bunch of planets up here and here. They're in certain houses. What's it mean? Well, he's Leo rising, okay? At the very end of Leo, which means the sun is his ruler, and the sun is up here in the 10th house. He's a very public person. He exists in the career house. He's on stage all the time. The North Node conjuncts his sun, which means he gets a lot of nurturing for being out there and strutting his stuff in public. But look at this. Here's an opposition to the moon. What's that? He was born on a full moon. And the moon is conjunct the South Node. She needs help. The moon is the ruler of Cancer, which is the 11th house, which is a group, a team, a company, an organization. So Mr. Trump gets into battles and fights all the time. He's the sun, the moon, here's the mother, here's the group he works with, here's the company, here's the team, here's North Korea. Is his name Moon? Anyway, the sun, the North Node. Here's Uranus now. There's his tweets. And that gives him individuality. What does he say? He's a very stable genius. In lots of ways he is. And here's the Uranus trining Jupiter. He can talk a good story. And here's Mars sextile. He's got quite a nice chart if it wasn't for this opposition. And here he is beating up women. And they're realizing it now. These are women that already need help. Here's the homeless people. Here's the needy in North Korea. So he's a bit of a bully, isn't he? And he gets away with it because there's Jupiter and sextiles one side of this opposition and trines the other. It's mediated. Here's Mars trines one side and sextiles the other, mediates the opposition. So these mediated oppositions are very powerful. He just goes around getting in an argument and he expects to win something. Yeah, what's he win? He wins Jupiter, more property, Chiron, more money, because this is his money. This guy makes a lot of money. The ruler of his second house is in the second house, conjunct Jupiter. That's Chiron. Makes money, he thinks, by helping people. Yeah. Anyway, that trines Uranus. There's the media, and there's the tweets, and etc. So, his public body now, the midheaven, is ruled by Taurus, which is Venus. So here's his public body at 25 Cancer. At any rate, the opposition is quite a thing. Now, usually what I do is I go right after progressions. And that's what I would do on your chart, secondary progressions, built on a year for a day. I'm looking for the big things, the big changes on your life's journey. And I'm looking at progressed rising sign. There it is at 27. He's going to get loose of a lot of these responsibilities, it looks like, in about 2 years. Rising sign sextiles the rising sign. Where's the midheaven? That moves 1 degree per year counterclockwise exactly. Oh, look at that. It's gone in the 12th house. He's in the government. Well, that happened about a year ago. It's at 254. If anything makes angles there, a lot of stuff can happen. And here's the progressed sun. It's gone from here at 22 Gemini down to here at 1 Virgo. Crossed his rising sign. He's standing up like a father. He's feeling strong. Got a lot of physical energy here. That's been going on for a year and a half. So the 3 big progressions are pretty cool. I'm looking around a little more. What's this? Here's Saturn in the midheaven. He's being Saturn. He's being Scrooge. There's some questions. But look at this. Here's a progressed moon. This progressed moon moves 1 degree per month counterclockwise. It went into the 12th house. This is a worrier. He started worrying over the government and hidden secret things here about 10 months ago. And look at this right now. It's on his Pluto. Now he's got Pluto in the 12th house. Here's secret demons and power and control trips. It represents his real estate, his home, his family. He controls that thing. Something went awry here. He's been worried about it for a bit. So I make a list, I would on your chart for 2 years. I made a list of the progressions. Here was a progressed moon conjuncted Pluto, January 24th. It's when he really started worrying about home, family, and power and control trips. Some young guys and some money. He makes some money. He'll sell a house March 19th. But, okay. What am I interested in here? I got action on a Pluto. Okay. And lo and behold, there's a full moon happening in the sky. And that full moon is at 10 Leo. And here's a chart of that full moon that happens June 14th, January 31st. There's a full moon at the end of January. Okay? And here's the full moon at 11 degrees, conjuncts his Pluto. So he's got a full moon on his Pluto starting January 31st, goes all the way through February. His Pluto is having lunacy. His hidden demons, his control and power of the home, his territoriality is kind of out of hand, his worries about extremes. So we got a real tough month here, see? Now, you look at the next lunation, which is a new moon. That new moon, February 15th, is right here at 27 Aquarius, opposes his Mars. Everybody lines up and says, you're too aggressive, you're too pushy, you're a bully. Opposes his rising sign. From the middle of February to the middle of March, due to this new moon, Mr. Trump has got everybody running against him. Finally, I made some notes here. The progressed moon conjuncts his ascendant June 28th. 2019. Oh boy, he starts worrying about himself. There's a string of full moons, all at 20 degrees, that hit his full moon opposition, starting August 2019 and going through April 2020. And they will make him feel like a lunatic, because Neptune is here in square to his Uranus and then his moon. And when Neptune squares your moon, mental health problems. I know it's been opposing my moon for the last 3 years. So, looks like the mental health problem is going to come to a culmination. Last few months in 2019, first few months in 2020, and it's going to go on to 2022 in delusional stuff of the poor man. Well, that's better than a big assassination trip, isn't it? Isn't it time you had your chart done? SkyMirrorAstrology.com/TV. The instructions are there.